Yo, everybody, what's up?
What's
What's
up,
going on?
everybody? How are you doing, Joe?
Yeah, I'm doing great, man. Yeah, this has been a crazy week for me, as usual. Usually, I think I say that every week, but it's indeed been a crazy week for me. Yeah, we usually have our guest in the back room, but he's not here yet, so we got plenty of things to talk about beforehand. Namely, an interesting. We've been featured somewhere interestingly. Um,
We were
as
featured
as
over on
bros.
on Good Stuff Comics over at Good Stuff Comics Gators channel. We were on their recent one of their recent just effing arounds, just digging around episodes. We could throw the link down there in the chat at if you want to.
Yeah,
But
for
yeah,
sure. That's a good
yeah,
idea. We'll throw it in there. What's up, people? Let's say hello before we play
yeah.
this
Let's
clip.
do that. Let's do that. Chris Fitz. Yeah.
Heck yeah.
NTN.
So
NTN.
we got NTM, we got Chris Fix. I haven't seen Chris Fisk in here in a while. I think he's appeared a couple times out of the
Mm-hmm.
wilderness. Uh, Darren Wag, D Wag's here. What's up?
What's up, D Wade?
I don't think anyone calls you Darren Wag. Feels weird. Shadow Hawks here. Uh, all hail. What's up?
What's
And
up,
so,
Shadow?
yeah, this
Yeah.
is a cool Wednesday. Wednesdays are usually the day where we get to chill out and talk to some folks and yeah, just shoot the shit. You are here at Art Bros. You are watching Art Bros. And so let's just show what bros do on their spare time, Jeremy. Let's how about that?
Wordy dirt, Christmas turd.
That's so silly, dude. uh, that's awesome.
But yeah, guys, go check out comics.
Yeah, good stuff, Confiscator, dude.
Yeah, good stuff, comics
Heck
get.
yeah. Uh, Collision Bomb showing up. What's up?
What's up, Collision
Holla, holla.
Man?
So before we get into our guest who has shown up, who has arrived, I want to talk a little bit about Star Circuit because I have a large update, yet a shitty one, which you'll see here in momentarily. I'm going to make my screen big just so you can see this beauty. Everything has shown up at my door. Not everything, but the good stuff has. So Star Circuit is here with a sweet shiny spot UV, but so it does look amazing. However, they have like this slight staple issue. It's a little bit offset, enough where it's bothering me, and I'm probably going to get a reprint. But you can see, like, you can kind of see a seam between pages, and some are not as noticeable as others. But for me, I don't think it's up to par. Like there's a I'd say like a millimeters worthy of letting it slide, but this is like 2 to 3 millimeters, and some of them I'd say 60% of them are like pretty noticeable. So that sucks. So what can you do? Let's bring up Jeremy again as I also complain some more.
Well,
That's it sucks,
you
right?
know, yeah. I mean, if they're in the group, we've got artists, we got writers, we got editors. How
Yeah,
much
this
does like the best printer really charge? Like, is there a pinnacle in this group that we all go to generate it? Because I got I got Cobalt in
heck yeah.
and haven't started reading it yet. Their metal print
Oh
is
yeah.
sick as hell. And then, of course,
Cobalt reads great, by the way, guys. I've read it. It is great.
And then I got Mr. Pepe Crufts, Lucent. And there's some good, like, just the
It's good
quality
stuff.
of a lot of these
But
books are coming. So how do we get our books to these?
The floppies are another beast, though. So like, it's a totally different thing. The stapling is like a totally different process. Mm-hmm. Either way, my variant cover, which I should have had with me here, all printed fine. So that's how I know they screwed something up. Like the variant cover is perfect, the main cover is not, and so looks like I've got to go back and get with these folks.
Yep.
Anti-M says Jeremy hasn't started reading Cobalt because he can't read. Well, we're both from Kentucky. Well, somewhat.
That's a good point. That's actually a good point.
We can blame it on the state.
We graduated Shelby.
That's right, from the same county. So glad you're here, everybody. We've got a great guest to bring up and talk with for a while. I'm trying to remember if I have anything else to say about Star Circuit before we move on. I'll have an update for you guys in like a couple days, an official one. I'm planning to do a video. That way you can see for yourself what's going on, and I can talk in more depth about what the hell is going wrong with this one printer. But that's how it goes. So before we strafe too far, let's bring in our guest. You know him as Vonster. He's done one really notable book, a notable book in CG just came out. I think most people will say it's the poster child of CG's quality. Let's bring on Vonster. What's up, Von?
Hey, Joe. Hey, buddy. How you guys doing?
Doing good, man.
Jeremy.
You can call my buddy Jeremy here the Colonel. That's what he's named now after.
The chicken guy.
Well, yeah, after the chicken, but
wow,
it's kind of like coincided with the whole crack pack now, and now he's like the Colonel of crack.
Never been called chicken first meeting a guy, but that's a good start.
Well, I mean the Colonel of chicken. You have a rank and everything, so
I got spices and secret recipes. Let's do this. No,
arms.
It's good to meet you, dude. Like.
Cheers.
This book looks great. Looks great. Looks awesome.
Well, yeah, I'm.
I know we haven't showed it yet, but yeah.
Right. Well, I'm stoked to talk about the new one, but I'm like super stoked to talk about like just Vaughn, like the enigma that is Vaughn. Whatever you want to call that, like. Where you came from is more of what I'm concerned about, because like what you're putting out now is like. Is I'd say cream of the crop kind of stuff, like brilliant ideas.
Nice.
But yeah, so maybe you can give us an idea of like what you started. I hear you're an artist as well as a writer.
I am a series of failures.
Aren't we all?
Yeah, and that's the point, right? Like you got to fail, you got to get your ass back up, you got to go again, and that's why I'm making stuff the way I am, because I was a kid in, I started college and all I did was draw comics, but I was in med school. So I was doing the doctor thing, but man, drawing Battle Chasers and what was I drawing back then? Like a lot of image stuff. I loved it. And I should have gone into just like comics back then, but it was always just the thing I loved that I did in the background instead of my homework or whatever. And then I moved on. I decided,
No, go ahead. I was just talking Battle Chasers with someone the other day. I was like, oh, sick.
What a game. It's the 10th one is coming. Anyway.
Yes, we hear.
So, finally. So, like, I ended up going, no, you don't want to go into comics, bro. Like, that's, you don't know how that'll turn out. Go into graphic design. So I went into graphic design, which taught me a lot of cool things. So, like, I designed a lot of logos. I designed a lot of I designed all my own characters. So all these things I've studied over the years ended up being great for figuring out how to make the coolest comics that I've always wanted to see since I was a kid. And it's definitely a mix of my training, but also just the things I loved over the years. In the 80s, anime kind of hit a little bit with Robotech and stuff and Voltron. And I just loved that. And I've always loved it since. So that's kind of an influence too or like manga and that style of like fighting, but with like a little mini story within the big story. That type of stuff really influenced me. So yeah, like my life was a series of me trying all these things out, falling flat on my face, and learning something along the way. And I started to realize as I made comics, like, man, like I'm learning more and more about how to apply like what I learned in film school. I went to college for film and screenwriting. And then that's where I learned story more and became obsessed with like craft. How do you craft the best story? How do you get the best characters? So yeah, and while I was in film school, I was still making comic after comic in the background.
So you actually went to you were in a med kind of like, I guess, like approach. Were you in med? You just through college.
ER was
like
real,
majoring?
Joe.
Huh?
ER was real.
Yeah, ER. So yeah, I'm just connecting the dots here. If you were really in like a college program for like going the medical route, is that right?
Yeah. I was in med school. And I wanted to follow my dad's footsteps. It was like a big deal. He was like the first college educated, something rather in our family. So I wanted to follow that, but I wanted to be more of a creepy ass forensic pathologist. I wanted to solve crime and bust creepos, but then I was like, that would depress the hell out of me. Like I'm having way more fun drawing Garrett from Battle Chasers or whatever. Like I'm having way more fun coming up with stories and I was actually doing all the t-shirt designs and flyer designs for a lot of the campus organizations before I left the med school in Oklahoma University, because I liked doing that. You know what I mean? Like I just love doing art. It's what I end up doing all the time. So
right, dude, I just find it super interesting because it's incredible that there's your Monster MD book has so much like, I guess maybe that's why it feels real. Maybe because you have so much like background with the MD, stuff. That's really cool. So I think that's what I mean when I say like your whole experience has kind of led you in a certain way.
Yeah. You should see my bookshelf, man. It's crazy. Like I've got like creepy old medical books from the 50s with like drawings of horrible diseases on people's balls and stuff. I've got all kinds of weird stuff.
Elephantitis?
What a trove of material.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying.
My dad's old medical books were amazing.
Awesome.
I had to pillage those immediately. So you see a lot of my influence if you look at my shelf, and it's everything from like, the more supernatural demonology and vampires and werewolves.
Oh,
and
you
stuff.
got one of the.
Then you've got your medical and your science and your forensics and your true crime and your,
Oh,
yeah, dude. There's probably a lot of gems in there for sure. I would love to probably pick your brain about that random stuff.
We found the second Alexandria behind him.
Right. So what's the deal with film school first? Like you thought you liked comic books, you drew that, but why film school?
I was running my own online store, cosplay store of all things. I was selling like anime cosplay stuff and making bucks. Like people were loving it. And I was making stuff at home and making it for a good price, and it was high quality, and I was proud of it. But it wasn't what I wanted to do with my life. While I was doing that, I was writing screenplays for all these awesome stories and movies I wanted to see. But I was like, where could I do that? And I felt like it was time to go back to school after taking like some time off to run my business. Right. And I learned a lot about promotion and marketing and design and how to win over customers from running that business as well. Like all these things I did, these pieces, I could feel them connecting when I was setting up the Monster MD campaign. It was like it all comes up down to this, kid, So.
Dude, I feel that like some sort of like, cosmic pressure. So
that's my life, yeah.
So at the end is I can't gatekeep him because he'll mention it if I miss one of his comments. But yeah, he says, if you've fallen on your face a lot, Vaughn, your face looks better than Joe's.
What?
My mom says different, dude. She'd have a bone to pick with you.
That's right.
Sherry's here. Sherry's saying, so you're a med school dropout.
I am. Med school dropout.
Nice,
Yeah.
dude.
Just look
I
at me
am.
now.
I am. I'm a lot of things, man. I'm a med school dropout. I was a blue collar like worker in this pipe factory. I was a bouncer. I was a guy who pulled lice off of children for soccer moms for like crazy amounts of money. I was a screenwriter for a few companies in Chicago. Like I was all these different. I've tried it all, man.
That's cool. Well,
I only like making comics though.
It's hard not to. It's hard not to like. I guess remember all those as their own life almost. Like it feels like a different life, maybe.
It's helped that mental library for his writing.
It's given me experience, that's for sure. Yeah, a lot of weirdness, a lot of weird people watching. I mean, that's where you draw a lot of your stuff, or at least I draw a lot of mine. But that was another time, another place. That was Chicago, whole nother life.
Where are you born and raised, bro?
I was born in Houston, but I grew up a lot in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Okay.
And that's where I'm back. I came back to it to start anew, and everything's been going pretty good since. But yeah, that's interesting that I look back on all the stuff I did, and it made my book that much better. I even did a version of Monster MD before this one with a different artist, and then he screwed me over and didn't turn in the last 5 pages as kind of a eat it, dude. And I was like, all right. And if he hadn't done that, I might have just finished it and moved on to the next project, you know. But when he did that, I got kind of fire in my gut over it. I was like, dude, I'm gonna redo this with Monica, and I'm gonna like kill it. Like we're gonna do the best book out there. So yeah, it was in a way it was kind of good that he kicked me in the nuts a little bit.
Yeah, dude, that's incredible because it did turn out really great. I've not done a review on it, but I feel like it's so good that I'd just be praising it. There's probably a few bones to pick with it, but like for the most part, it'd just be like I don't know, a brown nose fest.
Joe's mentioned it to me a lot, so he was very impressed with it.
Yes, very impressed. No worries. I'm stoked. My favorite thing about story is the armature behind it, the structure that holds it together. Like I like prose, but I suck at it. I suck at making pretty words work, and that's just because I haven't done it. It's the thing I've done the least. So I think I attach to the armature a lot more of story. So what are you? So you're in film school. You probably have plenty of those classes where you're in story structure, and I can tell through some of your writings that you're not attached to it, but you're using it.
Yeah, a lot of the other writer types in CG, when they see my stuff, they can tell. They see 3-act structure immediately, and they can tell I know what I'm doing. But I learned all of it in film school, and I was a little older when I went back to school. So I took it, you know how the older student is? Oh, they take it very seriously, and they become like buddies with their professors. That was kind of me a little bit, because you're like almost as old as your professors, you know?
Yeah.
So I ended up taking it really seriously and getting into the writing aspect. I realized kind of quickly that I didn't want to be a director like everyone thinks they want to be when you first go to to do film. Everyone thinks they're a director. Like it's just not for me. It's not my personality type, but I don't mind being, directing behind the scenes and doing a comic book team. I'm just not like a set guy. I like to be behind the scenes and writing. So I focused really hard on screenwriting. By the time I left my college, the professors were coming to me to write a lot of the big scripts that they were going to produce and make. So like 2 of my things got made. One of them was animated actually before I left college. So that was kind of cool.
That was really cool.
Big things are gonna happen to me. Yeah, right.
And soon faceplant.
No one cared.
That's how it goes.
That's how it goes.
I learned great lessons though, man. Invaluable. Like I learned that I'm not going to Hollywood. No way. Like if I'm in Chicago and it's this bad, and they treat writers this badly here, I can only imagine the kicks and the balls LA would have in store for me. So I was just like, I'm not going out there, man. I'm just going to make comics.
The type of facade you have to put
I
up
just
over
liked
there.
my life in Chicago. I biked everywhere, so you feel good. You're having fun. The city
Yep.
was cool. The food was great. The women are hot and down to have fun. And you get to. I got a good job working at a tea house where I got paid to sip tea all day and write Monster MD. Like I was doing all right for like a while there.
That's awesome. I haven't been
Nice.
many places in this world, but Chicago, I've been a few times. I've got friends there, and so I feel the vibes. I feel the
fun.
vibes now. Yeah,
I did actually go to California from Kentucky after
Oh, wow.
college and went to SoCal in Oceanside. So, and I ended up working at Staples, like bicycling, like you were talking about, and everything, just basically street urchining, like just trying to get a job somewhere. No.
What another planet
It's
out there.
nuts.
Wow,
It's
yeah.
nuts.
I
loved it out there. It was beautiful.
I've worked too hard and made too many things over the years to like just write a script and hope it gets made. And then when it does, they just change it anyway. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And like, or have other writers come in and just mess it all up to like some kind of, I remember, I wrote something for a guy in Chicago. I was pretty proud of it. And he threw a party, and at the party he had a table with pages from the script on it for people to just pick up and read and talk about whatever. This was a moment for me as a writer, as a newbie. I'm walking up to this table. I lift up the pages. This is not what I wrote, man. This is completely different. I wasn't told these changes were happening. And one of the best lessons and changes, the most dramatic, was when my work, and this is what I like started to learn about the world of SJWs. Before I didn't even know the term. Okay, I don't know if it was used back when this happened, but I wrote a script that won some awards at school, and the school said, "We have to make this. We have to make this. This is one of the ones we have to make because this will win awards." You know, it makes our school look good. So like they put it into the practicum program, which has a budget behind it of like, I don't know, a lot of money. And they let a kid direct it though, who's a student, but he's not just any student. He's supposed to be like, have some experience and be like higher ranking or whatever.
Right.
This kid was a total activist SJW, and he changed my script into something about brotherly love into like, about how like the white man has like destroyed the Indians of America, Indian people of America. God. Like he just turned it into this dramatic, like racial, like tragedy. It was not what I wrote about at all. It was just because I had a scene where the little boys played a game of cowboys and Indians like you used to when you're a kid, or at least I did. I don't know. Am I that old fashioned? I don't know. It's been like that guy turned it into this whole racial allegory. Anyway, like when I discovered that, I went and looked at my contract with the school, and I discovered that, dude, I'm supposed to do the only rewrites on it. Like I had put that in my own contract. So this guy like had screwed himself, and he looked really bad, and the school was really mad at him. And they still let him direct it. And then he just did he still changed it in the end and did a half-ass version of what I wrote. And of course it did. Whenever they change it, it just, it's not, it's not as good. The jokes don't hit, you know.
You can't force the director to not do it his way and then keep the director. It doesn't work like that.
So yeah, man, I learned great things about the fact that as a writer, everyone thinks they're going to change your shit, but like as a comic creator, nobody's like, okay, let me just change the, you know, like this is mine, this is my machine. That's why I love it. It's awesome.
Right? Yeah, control freaks. We are
indeed.
Many of us here. We love it.
Well, it's kind of like, do you think George Lucas would have wanted someone else to do A New Hope, like film it? Like it had to be exactly.
I don't think anybody could have besides him.
No, and so I think that's what a lot of creators like us are driving towards. Is like, oh, we got this cool ass idea. If it's not told right, you know,
then why tell it all?
Yeah. Like, and I only want to blame me. I don't want to have to blame someone else. You know, I don't want to have to say he did it.
Yeah,
he fucked it up. You know, I want that responsibility.
Yeah, man. I'm too much of a control freak. I got to design my own characters. I got to, I redo the script over and over. I'm working with the artist a million, like my notes are like intense sometimes, I bet. So yeah, but you know what? The end product, it makes me happy, and I hope it makes others happy. And that's like, I think where it's at in the end, man. You wanted to talk about actually like, what is it? How we tell the stories that resonate with people.
Yeah, I wanted to. Oh, yeah, I wanted to bring up like how you really figure that out. Like what is the structure, the
The magic.
the underlying substance there that actually makes people want to read more, that really make them connect and relate. I
Yeah.
think there's different avenues, so I wanted to see what your avenue to do that is. As we talk about, because I don't want to run out of a whole lot of time with a lot of, we're losing screen time pretty much. So I want to bring up some terror
Oh,
as we
baby,
talk
yeah. I
about
like
stories
it.
we care about.
This story is really special for me, guys. Since I was an 8-year-old kid walking into a comic book store, the dark, blood-covered, badass Avenger hero has been kind of what drew me in.
Hmm.
Back then, Ninja Turtles were just these, they were the same way. They were dark, they were blood covered, they were killing Shredder in the first issue. It was a good time. And I fell in love with like Wolverine and Punisher and all that. Anyway, I see this character, Black Terror. He's got all this potential. Nobody unlocks it. Nobody does anything cool with him. I see so much potential that I want to combine this with my idea for like a dark avenging hero story where he has to march through what was his neighborhood that's now been leveled by these vengeful super Nazis. And
Hmm.
kind of as he goes through the trenches of what was his old neighborhood, bones of his neighbors and friends sticking out from the sides. Like he's also reliving his past and his dark life as a trench warrior in World War II and his past mistakes, his past sins. And so it's like this amazing adventure both internally and externally for this character. Like he's venturing into his own darkness in ways that he's afraid to, in even ways he's afraid to go to. And he's marching through the trenches of what were his friends and neighbors. It's this just horror show of a book, dude. But
It looks incredible because
I feel
one, the
like it needed
style. I,
that.
I think that's one of the things that draws your team is pretty much you have this grit, this realism, and yet this fun like aesthetic, and that combo is almost like some sort of like Frankenstein that we all love to see.
I
Yeah.
get
Yeah,
Mask of the Phantasm vibes a lot.
Mask of the
Oh yeah.
Phantasm with that. And so,
Yeah.
so out of this, like out of the stories you've written
I
previously,
love that.
including this, like what are the things you think really add to stories that help people connect, help people attach themselves, and see themselves in the story? Like what do you try to focus on?
When I'm creating, I need your empathy to spark in a real way. I always feel like I'm not trying to force it as much as I'm trying to like just get you involved and interested in what this character is going to do next. So there's my characters have to have like human traits, but then they have to have kind of the fantastical traits at the same time that make you go, wow, this is not just an everyday guy. You know what I mean?
Right.
Um, I loved mixing that Black Terror as this powerful character who's kind of scary with he's kind of scared. Like he's got his own fears that he has to confront. You got to give him that soft, creamy human side every time, even if they're the hardest badass, I think. But yes, for me, it's like, how do we create empathy in a reader? How do we get that because with no feeling, the character or your reader doesn't care, right? It's
Hmm.
not going to work. It's not real until they feel.
Right.
It's what I keep telling myself. So like, there's so many ways to achieve it, and one of them is like you beat the hell out of them. Like you let us get to know them in a kind of charming way for like a second, and then you take away everything. You beat the hell out of them. Seems to be one of the methods I've caught myself using a lot.
Mm.
Within the first 12 or 13 pages of my Black Terror story, his entire neighborhood gets detonated, and he loses everything. Like it's like a 203 page story. Like what the hell's going on now? Like when I read a story like that, I'm like, what the hell's going to happen after this? It
Right.
makes me want to know more. But yeah, empathy's funny. Like it could be as simple as like someone's trying to catch a coin rolling down the sidewalk and you hope they're going to catch it and you watch them and you're kind of rooting for them in your head. Like things like that, like those little moments
Right.
that we start to relate to because we find ourselves there and sometimes
I
it's
I like that example because I usually describe it
Yeah.
as like this. It's not really you don't want to show this weakness. It's almost like this quirky human side of the character. In this, you just have to pick that one moment. It could be whatever. It could be them, like, having to deal with somebody on a plane that they don't need to, or something that you are relating to, and you see how they react to that situation. But I like that example of the coin, man, because it's you clearly will root for them. It's odd that we will do that. Yeah, that. So this is the same artist as Monster MDs, right?
Yep. Monica McCagney from Italy coming back at you. So she and I talked about this before we were like completely done with Monster MD, or maybe just as we were finishing up, because I just wanted to make sure we could finish MD first. And she was like so down with this from the start when I pitched it. Like, she understood it. I started pitching the character designs, and she killed them with these. I wanted us to. I realized, like, in order to kind of get people to like understand this more and sell it, we need to see the cool cast of all the different awesome characters you're going to get to see. It can't just be Black Terror, He looks great. I love him, but like he's just very easily compared to like, oh, he's just the Punisher or whatever. Like but then you see these other characters, and it's like, wait a minute, like there's something badass brewing here with this cast. I do think Black Terror still stands alone, but this is just me trying to get it out there to people. Like, this book is bigger and more badass than anything I've written. It's more brutal and dark than anything I've written, and I don't know, man. I'm just really. This is why I love writing comics. Is this book? Like, when I read the script, I get giddy. For you guys to see these scenes. I could actually, now that I think of it, I could show you an unseen page just like as like a special part.
Art Bros teaser.
Yeah, if you guys want.
As you find that, I was to tell you, like, the first thing I felt was like kind of like that feeling when you see Batman and you'll think, like, in any Batman story, you're like, oh, it's Batman. It's somewhat stale because he's like this very cold person. But then you see his rogues gallery, and you see like all the villains and how kind of creative they are. That's the same feeling I got. I was like,
oh, cool.
I got, it was like
awesome.
It was like seeing Killer Croc or something for the first time. You're like, dude, how's Batman and this guy in the same story? And
it's out there,
cool.
But your hero's as good as your villains, as they say. And I think doing this story taught me a lot more about good villains, for sure.
Game design's a lot about enemy design too, so it kind of seems like you put that problem out in front of your character, and that defines the character.
Right.
And
well, it's also like, well, this story, the villains are really important in this tale because in a lot of ways you're going to discover how they're connected to Black Terror, or how maybe they're even his fault. And so there's gonna be like backstories explored for each villain too, so you can get their human side as well, which was kind of fun to do. You'll learn their backstories and how kind of tragic they are, So yeah, that's part of what I want to explore in this. Like, he's a good guy that might end up turning into a bad guy any moment, and the bad guys have their human side too. But in the end, don't make no mistake. Like, he's a badass. He's vanquishing the bad guys.
Right. So let's share this secret page. I realized my screen was too small, so the thumbnails wouldn't show up for me. Let's close this one out and show the secret page.
This just came in today from Monica.
Ooh, nice. Oh, wow. Let's see if I can...
Yeah, this is my Black Terror. He's a nightmare. He's a trench warrior destroying Nazis. He's their newspapers are what gave him his name. The reason he's called Black Terror is because before he kills you, he gets clean close with those knives, but his breath has kind of a scarecrow effect on you, and you see him as what you fear most before you die. Now, some people, it just freezes them in place and they go down. Other people fight him. Other people just, they're too stunned to do anything in time, whatever. Like, fear affects us all differently, and the book explores that. That's another cool thing I've always wanted to explore, that this story lets me do, man. The nature
Wow,
of
man.
fear.
It's awesome.
And like some of my thoughts on that. And this is a scene flashing back to World War II when he's like this butcher of the trenches, man, just unstoppable. So
Yeah, that's right, dude. It like it's reminiscent of so many things. And you know, who doesn't like fighting some real Nazis? And man, Billy is taken aback because he hasn't seen this image yet. This
he's an
is
awesome artist.
Yes, he
Yeah.
is. Love Billy.
man.
Love Billy.
Good old Billy.
But this is I'm really happy with how this is coming out. This is magic. Wait till you guys see the colors. We've got some
that's
cool
gonna
little
look sick with the
got some
color.
cool things brewing in the background, and it's just gonna I'm so excited for this book, man. I'm so excited to be making comics instead of just dating comics like I was when I was growing up. But in a way, it was good because I was still learning back then too. You know, I had to learn a lot of other things before I could make this badassery.
Yeah, it's odd. When I think of all the things I'm having to do with Star Circuit, let's bring up your book again. It's like all the things that I put these characters through somehow relate to my life in some weird way. You know, some dark ways, some like just quirky ways. But I imagine this is, you know, you're at the right. I always like the phrase, you know, always believe you're at the right place at the right time, because it encourages that your past, even though you may have some like seemingly insignificant moments, they might actually be super influential in the future. So
That's chaos theory.
And you know what, man? Like, it's always going to be the moment that you don't think is going to be your biggest that will like end up getting carried on.
Oh yeah.
Never plan. God, that's why I never want to plan whatever my biggest thing, you know, project or whatever is going to be. I just don't care. I'm just like, if it's big, if it's bigger than that one, it's cool. If not, okay. Like, I'm just loving, like, this is what I should be doing right now, this book. And you know what? Because of my stubborn ass, like, head, I tried to not do it. I was almost going to do Monster MD2. I was almost going to do something else. Like, and I was thinking that maybe this wouldn't, like, take, because it's kind of a risky thing, I would say, to do a golden age like free to use, you know what I mean? Like, a lot of people in comics could easily look at it and go, he's been done, he's played out, like, he's not interesting. So my task is a little bit more uphill, but I feel like if you can get on this wagon and like come with me, I'm going to show you pure bad assery. Like, I'm going to show you what this character's potential is capable of. Like, he's cooler than people let him be, you know? He deserves to evolve into something badass. He was actually very popular back in his time in the 30s and stuff as kind of one of the more brutal heroes who wore black and Tommy gunned down bad guys. I think
it's cool. I think it's a perfect moment, though, because you've proven yourself with Monster MD, obviously. So it's like this kind of, it's a shift at the right time. And, dude,
I want to go dark and high tea.
Yeah, he's actually saying a serious question.
What's he saying?
Yeah, I do, NTM. I'm really a stickler for 3-act structure. I outline my stories like kind of like beat by beat.
I don't know how you can't do it that way.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, it really, really helps. If I don't have it, then, I mean, I've heard of all these different writers with different methods, man, but I need my beat sheet, and I need I like to write ideas for cool one-liners in my first beat sheet for some reason. I don't know you don't have to do that. I just do it. And like, it helps for when I'm writing the script to like have that line like locked and loaded, kind of ready. And even if it sucks, I can just like, you know, update it.
Moving around. That's really cool. So I was like, along that line, I want to see about maybe what's your like number one go-to piece of advice for somebody like NTM over here that's a little bit less experienced. So like someone that is looking to like have you know, just maybe a tip or a trick that like might help them, maybe like an exercise, a thought experiment or something.
Walk away from it when you're working on it for a bit. Leave it alone for 2 days, maybe 3. Come back and look at it. You'll have new eyes. It'll feel like a superpower, and you'll be able to edit your garbage out, and it'll feel good. Pat yourself on the back. Yeah. That's one thing that I find helps a lot. Know when to walk away from something. What's some other cool ones? Um, listen to your characters, as crazy as that sounds. Like sometimes I need to shut my own conceptions up of like who I think they are up, and I just want to like let them talk to me of and like, because everybody expresses themselves so differently. And one of the brilliant things about comics or just stories or whatever with dialogue is how you make the character come out in really cool subtle ways with subtext or with just word choices. That's just something I have so much fun with. So like, yeah, like let the character like lie. Let your characters lie sometimes. Let your characters like let your characters say like not what they really mean. Like let characters but let them, when they talk to you, like listen to them and like really pay attention to who they are. Like don't betray them, I guess. And they will end up guiding you well. One thing I'm starting to learn as I make scripts lately is like I love just having characters that are broad archetypes now. Like I'm okay with it. I'm not as worried about it as I used to be when I was a beginning writer. I was like wanted my characters to be more complex or whatever. Nah, screw it. Like Black of Terror is a badass high tea dark avenging hero, and Lady Satan is the acrobatic witchy ninja and kind of the sarcastic mouth. There's all these different. I like having my archetypes, so using those is a cool roadmap too. Like advice I could use, like take pick a few archetypes and see if you can make them like hang out together and do something cool. That's fun to do. But yeah, what's another one? Should I keep going, or I can stop? I can keep going all day.
Those are great. I mean, if you got another one on the fly, give me
Joe,
one more. I don't mind.
I don't know if this is going ahead, but did you ask him about reference? His main choice
for the Ultimate Art Guide.
Yeah, I didn't know. I didn't know if you would remember to do that.
I have not brought it up yet, but I will right now. So what we do here at Art Bros is I'm trying to build this Ultimate Art Guide, which is kind of this compendium of, it's like the biggest index I can kind of compile, because I noticed that we have them for things like crowdfunding with Rob's document, and I see it for every other industry, except I don't see it for like just in general for comic books. So what I'm building here is just essentially just an index where you can click whatever link you want for whatever source you need. If you're having trouble with writing, we'll find you something on this document for that. So I want to ask all the guests that come in, like you, what's a go-to resource that you depend on or used to depend on, or maybe one that really affected you?
I have some. Man, I've got so many cool books. Let me see. Let's see. Should I grab one? Grab a few weird,
sure, cool go for it.
Like weird books that I've had over the years.
I'll get Google ready.
Yeah. Let's see. Dynamic figure drawing. Color theory, medieval costuming. I have so many. I have a lot of different kinds of books, but no, I don't want to like whip them all these out now. It's just kind of like most of it's drawing books. When it comes to my resources right now that I use, I like this thing called the Fantasy Name Generator for some reason.
I know that.
I think it's kind of hilarious, kind of like it will make me laugh every time.
I don't use it, but I know it. But yeah,
so that's all right. So I'll write that one down, because that's
actually a real good tip.
It sounds like something I used for concept art. Is that what it's used for?
Basically, just roughing out, like especially like for fantasy worlds where you have like weird sounding names and stuff. This thing can generate some stuff. I don't know. I use
anything.
Yeah. Yeah, it's useful.
Names for anything.
That's pretty cool. Like I said, this sounds like a concept art little random generator I used to use to like practice, designs. You just like would generate like random words together, and then you're like, oh, I got to make a motorcycle coaster, or something,
right?
And and you go for it. But okay, so we'll keep that in mind. We're going to close this down, but I will find what you're talking about, something like that, because that would be something cool and quirky that we can include. I don't know how many times can I say quirky in a stream.
The quirkiest stream ever.
This is so quirky tonight. We have so many people that popped in today. I'm stoked.
I know, such a good,
That's awesome.
Good chat today. Awesome chat, BS.
Yeah, good to see Boob Dan here as well, man. Speaking of, I don't have his art on the wall here yet. I've got, this is my most recent from Freddie Williams, my mentor, and he did this. He gave me this Robin right before he officially went gay, but I still put him on the wall. But you know, not that I care, but you know, for me, it's one of the reasons why I started doing comics is his run on Robin. So that's why it's on the wall.
Is it bad that it's bothering me that the picture isn't straight and it's of Robin?
Yeah, well, I think it's the top one actually. This one's crooked.
Oh, that one's okay.
Yeah, that one's the one with that one. yeah, it's something's up, I think.
Straighter times, Robin. Straighter times. Man, oh yeah, I have another piece of advice. Give yourself creative challenges like every day that are like little, and like be like, I want to finish this character design by this time or whatever. Like little things like that. Like I want to I want to come up with a cool new character for my character to like hang out with and like fight with. You know, in the first chapter today. By the end of the day today, like, and that's kind of exciting. It gives you like a goal to look forward to. It gives you, and it's fun to think about. Like, I'm going to create a character today. That's so much better than I'm going to file my taxes today, or I'm going to, whatever.
I like that because you're keeping it. For me, creativity occurs when like actually heavy restrictions are there. So you find a way. Creativity finds a way.
Yeah.
For me, anyway, like not everybody works that. Some people need the open boundaries, the endless vast openness of creativity to like be unrestrained, but for me I like I like when I draw for somebody else's script. I like a full script because then I'm like from there I'll stray from it, but I like them to have their full ideas there.
Yeah, I'm a script. I really like a script, but I also describe my stuff so that the artist doesn't feel too constrained from picking. I want you to pick your angles that you feel best tell the story. I'm not here to direct every angle like a film director guy. I think I don't know. I just feel like that's bad form, but I don't want to judge how other people create though at the same time. You know what I mean? Like if other people do it that way, they do, but yeah, I want the artist's touch on that too. So yet you'll find my panel descriptions, unless I'm like close on this for storytelling reasons or because I think it looks more badass than ever, that's when I'll direct a little bit. But for the most part, man, it's just open.
Yeah, that's cool because I think that's where I draw the line too. I don't know about you, Jeremy. Well, you've drawn for a few people, writers specifically, right?
Yeah,
but for me,
several for now. Yeah,
I don't know how your experience has been, but yeah, every once in a while, you got the guy that wants to tell you exactly what shot to use.
Yeah.
To me, that's like it's a little overboard, but even if they do it, I just tell them up front, I'm gonna probably mess with this, But yeah, terror in the trenches. Like when I looked up the word, I guess terrific. Everything has like this double meaning, and it's like, and that's kind of how I like somewhat, I guess describe your stuff, Vaughn. It's like in one sense like awesome and great, but also like pretty scary if you like get into like the themes of it. And
like why not both?
Yeah,
like can it be awesome and great and scare the hell out of you? Like that's what I want. I want to hit people. I want to freak them out, and I want comics like this. I just don't see this enough. I want Bruce Timm on steroids. I want a little more anime manga influence in my Western badass gritty, porridge. I want.
We gotta weave. We gotta weave.
Yeah.
We need one of those. Weeb alert.
Totally. Like, I mean, I guess I am. Like, since Robotech hit, I was like, yeah, hell yeah, anime's cool. So
hey, you're in good company.
I'm an 80s anime nerd or weeb.
Yes.
Yeah, weeb.
Yes.
For sure.
Which I'm cool with that because, man, that anime to this day is still the baddest ass shit you will ever watch in your life. Like, just watch. You can watch it on Retro Crush for free, streamable, like for free. Like all the baddest ass 80s stuff. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
And you can always go back to them. Even the crappy ones are great.
Like
I just
Record
watched.
of Lodoss War and Armitage 3 are the
Oh.
ones that I really like.
I just watched
from back
Lotus,
then.
dude. Yeah,
Nice.
Lotus. I love that one, man.
But Joe, you were saying sorry.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
all good. Dude, there's so many of them that like I wanted to make sure you got. I just watched Demon City Shinjuku, frickin' the other night, and I'm like, the story is a little whack, somewhat
It
but
is.
at the same time, some of the best animation for like
Cyber City
specific things.
Oedo. You guys watch Cyber City Oedo?
No. Actually, I've seen like half of that. I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah. That's by the same guy, right? Same director who did
Yeah.
Demon City Shinjuku?
Yep. Yeah, that's why I found it.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Boob Dan's like, yeah, classic anime Robotech all the way.
I love Robotech. So like, and that was a big influence on me as a kid because here's what happened in Robotech was important because it was the first time I saw a cartoon kill a leading character or kill a character at all, let alone a leading one that I liked. So like, I loved anime because it took me seriously enough to like see the adult stuff. Like I said, when I went to the comic book store, my dad was kind of freaked out because I was like, Wolverine, like blood, yeah. And he was like, you sure you don't want these Uncle Scrooge comics? Like, no. Hell no.
Yeah,
Get that
I
out.
think that's what stunted my initial growth. Like I always tell it, like my Catholic upbringing, like I barely could get a comic in my house without it being like scrutinized. So I would always like hide them and trade for them, and barely see them until I was a little bit older. But either way, I think I would have been some sort of obsessed person. Well, I am now, but regardless, I would have been earlier an obsessed person. So out of all your characters, Vaughn, for Terror in the Trenches, what's one that like stands out to you as like maybe a clear favorite, or one that's the most challenging or intriguing to write for?
I really, a lot of people have liked Lockshot, and that's the girl you see here with the golden scopes for eyes and the Russian sniper rifle that belonged to her mother. She has a rare mutation and was trained by her mother before her mom mysteriously died, and is now working for this kind of evil new kind of offshoot of the German Reich, or a new German Reich called the Black Reich. And is their ultimate sniper, and you see her do a lot of damage, but she's kind of cold and calculating and all about like the perfect shot. And but because her scope is her eyes, like there's definitely drawbacks to that as well. I like to have drawbacks to things for powers and stuff in my stuff. I've found So yeah, but she is an interesting character. I remember my editor commenting on her, and a lot of people picking her as a favorite just when they saw her at first sight. They like the name too, Lockshot. I didn't believe that it was a free.
It
just
fits
works
so much. Yeah.
I think the crosshairs for eyes, like it's like it's almost like a Batman symbol in some way. It acts as that. But I think for me too, I think it's the most clearly recognizable. Like, but either way, it's a classic mix. I was like X-Men beats I don't know, Enemy at the Gates or something.
My friend said it had a Metal Gear Solid feel because it's like people with these augmented powers with this military kind of training and gear, like which I didn't think about because I'm not like the biggest Metal Gear guy. Like I think it's cool, but I'm not huge on it.
It's like this mix of like supernatural meets like super grounded.
There's a huge weird meta layer to that whole Kojima thing. Yeah, just wait.
With me, it's not as crazy. It's what I did was I took Black Terror for who he is as a character, which is he was a World War II hero. And I started coming up with what other types of characters could I come up with off of that are wild and awesome, So like they needed to have some military to them. They needed to have a superpower to them. You know, they needed to have, yeah, they just needed to have the right flavor. I guess you could call it flavor. I mean, a lot of times I feel like I am working with ingredients here. I'm really proud of how Lady Satan came out because she's also a Golden Age character. And when people see her, they get pumped. She's a gun witch. She is my excuse to do kind of a Bayonetta like thing with a chick with guns in the heels and who uses magic plus guns. She has guns that float around her that are shooting at different people in different directions. So she's kind of like a walking arsenal. And she has other cool, weird magics that you're going to see that are really kind of more on the darker side. And like that way she's kind of creepy. But yeah, she's kind of a vengeful witch who can't wait to kill the Nazis. She's got a lot of great one-liners and is kind of more acrobatic and, you know, fun, you know, a lot of energy, real badass, real deadly gun witch character. So yeah, I really love how she came out. Was cool too, because the original Lady Satan from like the 1930s just killed people with like a gun or a knife, right? Maybe, or with like poison. Right. She got revenge on the evil Nazis. And then for no reason, they did on a later issue, they had completely changed her into a mystic who had magic abilities. So like Lady Satan has been redone over the years by different people where she's like a mystic, but other times she's kind of a badass, you know. But like for me, I was like, dude, we need to combine like the guns and the magic. And this was my, you know, and do the Bayonetta thing. So boom.
Dude, and I like the aesthetic, almost like the simplicity here is like the key. That's what's bringing this Bruce Timm, like the simple shapes, but also like the character design. Like it's kept to like 3 colors a piece. It's really simple, and I dig it. I noticed that right away. Everybody's saying Redline and Madhouse when we were talking about the animations, by the way. Which I'm actually watching Redline again because, damn, it's so good. But
a good one is Angel Egg from it's a very old, I think around 80s, early 90s, but Amano, I believe, animated that. Yoshitaka Amano.
That's a good one, man. I think you could find that on YouTube, right? Like,
yeah. It's free. Yeah, you can check. Cool. You can find it. Yeah. It's weird. It's artsy, but yeah, it's good.
Another thing I love is that like I'm getting to bring to life these character archetypes that I've wanted to bring to life since I was like a kid. Like on the far left here, we have Dadanetta, and she's kind of like my G.I. Joe Baroness, Nazi badass character who basically super excites her cells and then explodes the energy outward from her. So like she's I've always wanted to do like a vinyled up sex Nazi like my whole life, like for a character like what a great villain. And I wanted to give her that Baroness edge from G.I. Joe's, really like the dream for that. So I got to satisfy that too. So like, yes, like I'm having a lot of fun doing this. I'm getting to do these characters I've always wanted to do, but they all tie in to, I think, something that works with this Black Terror story, you know, in a cool way.
I think it needs instantly tell. I think that's the number one rule, is to like make it fun. But I mean, not for everyone, but I feel like your books it's essential. From what I can tell, just your personality maybe or something. But I'm really stoked for it. I've signed up. I may sign up again because I'm not sure which email I used. But that's how it goes. I do that once in a while. We're closing on 8 o'clock. This is usually where we close up shop. But I want to talk about a few other little short things with you guys. Go check out the link in the description to go sign up if you haven't already. If you have, there's no reason not to. Do you have a nice little... what do you think the discount's going to be? Just a straight monetary discount or some sort of bundle?
It's a bundle, but it has a nice little monetary discount on it. Like I did that with Monster MD as well.
Awesome.
And this time, I want to add that trading card because, I want you to sign up. It'd mean a lot. It's going to help me have a more successful campaign, I think, and tell your friends about it, because I think this is like, I'm putting the Terror back in Black Terror. Like this is going to be, it's going to be a cool work of art. This is going to be something else. This is the story you do not want to miss. So.
You can already tell, man. Jeremy, this is Art Bro, so we talk art. What do you feel about the art? You haven't really said much.
I said it kind of at the beginning in one quick swoop. That reminds me of the artwork is Mask of the Phantasm, but like on crack on that crack pack. Y'all know. But yeah, dude, it looks fantastic. Character designs, just like you were saying, the limited color palette. They're not very simple characters either. Like Lockshot has a lot of detail with the packages or with the pouches. The little Lockshot, like the eyeball with the keyhole in it. Like there's ideas coming out, but it's all drawn very well, just like you would with sprites in the old games and stuff like that. Stuff is very iconic and it draws your eye. I like the tastefulness you've got because you say that this is a huge Nazi bomb thing, but you're not really here to offend people. So you didn't throw the swastikas everywhere. You threw off, some weird stuff here, which it works. It works. We still know what it is without having to, fight about it, So there's a lot of good stuff happening here. I'm very impressed, and the action, the posing, the energy coming out of it, it's great.
Yeah, it brings to mind, like when you talk about just character designs in general, it's almost like this Pixar effect where Pixar uses realistic lighting, and yet because they're simplistic proportions, you forget about it. You're like, you forget that. Like that's why you're so used to it because it's on the back burner. It's like a bass line, a bass melody. You usually forget it's there until you pick up on it. But I think it's pretty cool, man. I think I dig the aesthetic. I really dig Monster MD. Maybe one day I'll do a quick review on it. But I'm short on time as always. It's my life. I want to bring up Star Circuit real quickly before we head out of here. Because like I said, I do have the book in my hands, guys. The book is here, and it looks great. The variant cover looks great, too. Back cover says, the road means nothing without you. So we need you to pick it up. We need you to buy it. And, it's the only book of its kind. It's a racing cyberpunk book that I don't think you're going to find on shelves or off shelves. So check it out. Make sure you it's going to be on demand with Indiegogo for a long time because the second and third installment that I'm combining together for the next campaign will be a little far out, especially because of all the delays. But look out for another update also for the printing issue that I've had. And I can't wait for you guys to, dude. It's incredible holding my hand. This is my first book, guys. So for me to hold it and see it and just.
He's not wearing pants right now.
Actually, yeah. So, you guys always wonder why I end at 8:00 on the dot. So, Vaughn, thank you for coming on. Thank you for all the. The support of other necessarily, because you did huge numbers with Monster MD. You've got kind of a big name in CG, so I appreciate you helping out us little dudes once in a while.
Man. Anytime, man. I appreciate you having me on. Good time. I love talking with good artists who know what's up and know their pop culture and know good art and want to talk about the deeper stuff about what makes it happen, what makes it tick. I think that stuff's awesome. So thanks. I appreciate you having me on.
Dude, that's awesome. You hear that, Jeremy?
I know. Great, did you hear that, Noah? He said I was a good artist. Shut up.
You can't let it down. Usually we just want to do a quick shout out to the last people that are with the chat here. Frog G is showing up the whole time. I guess you didn't have to work tonight.
Oh,
glad you're here.
He's been smashing out those links, guys. Go check out all those links. Frog G's amazing.
Oh, yeah. He also is bringing up here Jeremy's game Beckoned, which is he's converting it to his book now, which is awesome.
If you want to see, hold on.
Yeah, share real quick before we hop out of here.
It's right there on your screen, buddy. Or hold on.
Because I've been cooking sauce, you know me. I've got a sauce on the stove.
I've been saying I was going to be done with these first 2 pages for weeks. I'm
Yeah.
getting so stinking close. It's driving me nuts. But yeah. Oh man, this is the low res. My bad.
Still zoom in.
There you go.
Right.
I'm trying to Photoshop slagging. Hold on.
Oh wow.
Everybody's Noah's used to that. Damn, Jeremy's Photoshop.
Dude, you need to put out a digital version
my
just so
God.
we can zoom in on this.
I know.
Yeah, seriously.
So getting all that town stuff happening. I got 2 pull-out pigeons up in here. So I gotta detail a bunch of that, but I love doing my tech stuff going on. But I want to do a test print once I get done to see how all this kind of comes out. Because
blends together.
or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I added some civilians to it, so I've got to kind of detail them up just very little bit, hint them out because I don't want our main character kind of lose out on that. But yeah, so.
Yeah, dude, you are killing it.
Crazy. Wow.
Thanks.
Nice stuff.
Thanks. It's not the smartest idea. You can tell I'm not like using those. I'm not filtering down. I'm kind of like blowing out and hoping that it all falls into place.
Right.
It's all good, dude. A lot of us don't want it. It's in some way dumbing things down. But dude, if you're able to zoom in on like a digital version, I would kill for that. So you guys go check out Beckoned on Steam as well. You can play it for free. His prototype game. He's got the link in the description or a link in the chat here. And yeah, it's been a real fun time, everybody. We're here every Wednesday. I do a little thing on Sunday as well, and we usually talk about random things. Sometimes Billy Basco shows up. It's good times. And so guys, check you then. Jeremy, thank you for co-hosting with me. Awesome. And Vaughn, see you next time. I'm sure we'll have much more to talk about when you launch. Do you have a date, lastly, or something, some sort of tentative springtime or something next year?
I mean, maybe in 3 months.
3 months.
Maybe.
All right. I like that.
We'll see how it goes.
Heck yeah, guys.
Monster, it was great to meet you. So excited for your campaign, guys. Check it out. Go sign up.
Man.
Links in the description. From the tweets to the streets, get this out there.
Heck yeah. Peace, guys.
Later.